How come we can just follow 100 years old methods and system now with these children? We cannot do this with alpha generation. AI is a trend and many people are scared will make them irrelevant. I do not believe in this mindset. Teachers started to make fun of me, like she's using ChatGPT because she's unable to make the exams. I told them, if you guys will not take it now, eventually you will. In AI age, it's now what you know and how you think.
Welcome back to episode 2 of AssessPrep Insights. The education landscape is shifting faster than ever, and we're here to make sense of it all. In this podcast, we sit down with inspiring educators from across the globe to talk about the future of learning, from the rise of artificial intelligence to the evolution of student assessments. We're diving into what's truly changing in our classroom. I'm your host, Sidhi Baweja from AssessPrep, and I'm thrilled you're tuning in today. For our second episode, we have an absolutely incredible guest joining us, Sajida. She's a highly experienced head of humanities teacher who brings about 15 years of rich educational experience to the table. She's deeply passionate about curriculum development, empowering her peers through teacher training, and mentoring students to help them succeed both academically and personally. Driven by a lifelong love for learning, leadership, and excellence in education, she has a fantastic perspective on what it takes to guide students in today's fast paced world. In today's episode, we're going to talk about three things. One, we'll dive into her teaching journey. We'll understand from her what drives her teaching philosophy, how her approach has evolved over the years. Two, we genuinely want to have an honest conversation about navigating AI, especially looking at its current role in assessments for both teachers and students. And finally, we'll look at the future of assessments. Like, what is it that's really going to look like? Like, where are the evaluations headed? What is it that's going to matter in the future when we're going to measure student success or when we're going to talk about student assessments? And I can't wait to unfold the next 45 minutes of this conversation. Sajida, welcome to the podcast. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you, Ms. Sidhi. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here with you today. So basically, the first thing I would like to share with you my teaching journey. Back then, around more than 15 years ago, when I started my teaching journey, it was based on my passion because I was passionate for teaching. So that time when I started teaching, it was mainly content delivery and exam performance, but where success was measured by grades and completions of syllabus. But over time, my philosophy shifted towards student centered learning, where students are required to think critically, understand, and then apply the knowledge they gain. So rather than just memorization and, getting high marks. So I believe a good classroom is one where students are encouraged to ask questions freely, think independently, learn from the mistakes, and they can go beyond the box where they can connect the learning to the real life situations. Because once being a student, when I was a student, if learning doesn't make sense to me, I never put my full attention or I don't feel any motivation towards the content. So I learned that once the content or the subject will become relatable to students' real life, then they start putting their efforts. So now my role today is like more a facilitator of learning, not just a provider of information and a content delivery, and then assess the students and give them marks, and that's the case is closed. So I believe that this is not the education or this is not the learning process. Learning process is ongoing. It's continuous. Once you teach, if student did not understand, there is still time for improvement. They have to come back and discuss. And I would not say reteach. I would say let them realize where is the mistake by giving them a feedback, which is a constructive feedback, where we should say, okay, here you did great, that part was amazing. Here, if you work a bit about this, let's say about writing, for example, we can guide them. Okay, you did great, but here you need to improve. Then guide them how to improve. What I was missing being a student, I was not getting this guidance. Like teacher used to just teach us, lecturing us, yalla, go for the exam and finish your test, get the marks. That's it. But I change this in my teaching because I feel or I believe students may forget the content, but they remember how learning made them feel and think. And they always remember those mentors or teachers who let them feel they belongs to that teacher, who let them feel the teacher owns them and teacher really care about them and their feelings. But still, so students always take more interest in those subjects. Doesn't matter if it's a physics or it's a chemistry or it's a history. It depends on the way teacher is letting them feel.
I think it's a very, very important, a valuable point that you've brought in, that teaching is less about marks and the content. It's really about the relationship that you're building with your students. It's the human aspect that you as a teacher have with that student. So with AI coming in, right, we all feel like everybody says that AI is going to take over the job, AI is now the new teacher, etc., etc. But in your classroom, how do you see AI fitting in when you think teaching mostly happens through those human relationships? So, where is AI in this big picture of the relationship that you have with the students, and which is the most important thing at the end of the day?
Okay, so now this is a hot topic. AI is a trend, and many people are scared or they have a fear, like maybe it will eliminate their need or it will make them irrelevant to the educational field. I do not believe in this. Mindset. I would say it is actively reshaping AI. It is actively reshaping how students learn and how teachers assess. While I'm still a teacher, I do use AI platforms. And when I'm planning, I do add AI platforms like sometime I add puzzles, sometime I add images. They use some platform where they can find out the picture. I use Nearpod, Padlet, and allow them use ChatGPT, but with proper guidance. It's not like I throw them, you go do research and give me whatever. No, it's there is a specific task with the proper directions and timeline and guideline. Once they submit or they finish the task, it's not like just they copy paste. I ask them to explain and to let them make it their own. So AI is very helpful. It makes lessons engaging, and it's I could say it's handy. Like you can adopt it and use it very quickly. It saves your time also for planning, for differentiation, for even assessment. For example, I do formative assessment a lot, so I can just quickly generate questions. I would mention here AssessPrep. We do use pop quiz sometimes, so I just put the content in AssessPrep and ask the AssessPrep to create for me 5 DOK, DOK 2 or 3, and like that questions. It gives me plenty of questions, and I can choose as per my content, as per my student needs, and as I feel like it would be suitable for them. It depends how you use it.
So I think what I'm taking away is that AI is here to stay. And but AI has to be used with guardrails for students and even for teachers. Like AI is supposed to be in the assistive role rather than taking over a particular job, right?
True. I would refer when we had the industrial revolution in 17th century, mid of 17th, when it started. The same I would say things happened. Many jobs were eliminated. New jobs came, and many new skills people learned. So when something is reshaping the history or reshaping, we can say, the system, it also brings something new, new ideas, new jobs, and we cannot be we cannot keep following the same pattern again and for long time period of time. This is itself in education, it's not learning when you stuck with something and you do not move forward or you do not improve. So this is not education, it's not learning. Learning means you keep improving. There is always a room for improvement. So how come we can just follow 100 years old methods and system now with these children who are tech based children? We cannot do this with alpha generation. So I think teachers also needs to be trained how to use the AI properly in the classes. It's really give I would say lots of advantages as well for the teachers. For me, it made my job much more easier than before. For example, if I'm checking students' test, I can use AI for the feedback, and I can ask the AI to check this answer for me, give me feedback. And I'm not saying like I just take feedback and blindly I will say, okay, I can read, tweak wherever I think, yes, this student deserve marks, this student, how many marks it deserve. I can do that. But again, I can give them a proper feedback. If imagine I have to check 100 papers and I have to write all the feedback with my hands, it's not an easy task, and I would not be really good in that.
No, I agree with you completely. Like you said, right? Like you get quicker feedback, you get at least the first draft, and then you can tweak it
And
and you can.
it's meticulous. It's not just a
Yeah.
quicker, it's meticulous. It's take every single point and it explains every single point. Okay, here you did great, here you didn't. Maybe I'm not like underpinning humans abilities, but humans maybe sometime we may not focus on something. It may be slip from our eyes, but AI will not let it go.
No,
Yeah.
no, I agree. I completely agree with you. And plus, now that you have like a meticulous feedback, you as a teacher can then really focus on, okay, this is the human angle. This is how I'm going to communicate it to the child. Or I know that this is what the student is really going through, let's say. So you're able to add that personalization layer, which you spoke about in the starting. And that's what makes the feedback, which was just given by AI, it was really human feedback, something that you touched upon in the starting as well.
Again, we are the one who are making AI. Humans are the one who created it. We are controlling it. We are providing the data. We are feeding it actually. So of course it should be under our supervision. It's AI is like an assistant for us. For example, I have a washing machine in my home. I put clothes, it wash, and I'm still working. So it's like my assistant. And I would share with you like one of my experience. Almost 2 3 years back, when ChatGPT was like not too much into use. Nowadays everybody is using. Almost 3 or 4 years back, I started to use ChatGPT for lesson planning, for exam preparation. And well, I shared this with the teachers, and they started to make fun of me. Like, she's using ChatGPT because she's unable to make the maybe the exams or maybe the lesson plans. But I told them, if you guys will not take it now, eventually you will. And now this year, it's like every school has to use ChatGPT, and now it's the part, and we are using it like for lesson planning, for differentiation, for activities, how you can do this activity in a better way. So it's like, two minds are better than one mind. So if I do not have a human mind with me, I can use AI as my assistant.
And amen to that. I think it's so true that AI, any LLM, ChatGPT, I think needs to be used as a brainstorming partner, needs to be used as an assistant. And I think you're truly a progressive educator for being somebody who said, listen, if you're not using it today, you will end up using it later. And that's exactly what happened. I'm
I
very,
have the
yeah.
proof. I said this. I'm the pioneer in my school who started ChatGPT as a tool.
That's lovely to hear. I'm actually now pretty curious about. I'm sure if you're a pioneer, then people come to you, right? Like for training, that okay, listen, can you tell me how can you do this on LLM? What can I do? What is the kind of breadth and depth that I can do on an LLM model, sort of a thing? So, are you actively training teachers? How do you like help them upskill? How do you upskill yourself when it comes to LLM? Like, is there anything that teachers can do? They can learn from your journey of you being such a progressive educator.
So I will answer you in two parts. First for the teachers and then for myself. So because I'm the humanities HOD and this is the part of my job, or this is the one of the requirement, I have to train my teachers. So by training means I have to guide them with each and every, let's say if there is something new, if some new platform or anything we are using. First, I do research, and I am a research person. I always do research. So after doing research, I do learn, and then I transfer the knowledge. Okay, so being a leader, you have to train your teachers. I do train my teachers. We provide them PDs, we provide them sessions, how to use ChatGPT, and how you can prepare a prompt to get your a lesson plan which we are using, like base of that lesson plan, how you can generate one prompt, and then you can just put it and get the lesson plan ready and you use it. I mean, you can modify it and you can tweak it and use it. And by the way, I have in chat gpt there are called some gpts.
Yes, yes.
So I have created my own GPT in ChatGPT.
Oh, wow. That's lovely to hear. So, and it's public? Like, I mean, anybody can use it for teachers? Like any
Yes,
teacher
it's
can.
public.
Would you want to share it with the potential audience? Like, people are going to hear it. Do you think there's any merit in sharing it with them, saying that here's a GPT that you can use for lesson planning and stuff?
Sure, I'll do that. I can share with you. I can just a moment. I can share after the this session, I guess.
Yes. If you're comfortable, that is. I mean, if you're not comfortable, it's fine.
No, I'm very comfortable because I prepare it and it's for everybody. I'm sharing the link now. It's with my name, Inquiry Teaching. So basically, it's
Yes.
about the inquiry based teaching, how you can prepare your lesson plan and how you can use this GPT. So, of course, you can share with anybody.
I think this is lovely. It's a resource which teachers are going to love. Um, any best practices that you have for teachers when they're starting to use this GPT? Like, what should they do? Like, I know the minute I went on it, there are 4 5 things I can do, but any best practices you want to share with the larger community, educator community, that this is how you can make the best of it?
There are four I made, like, for example, 40-minute lesson plan. You can use this. There is inquiry based lesson plan. They can use this, like when how to make your lesson more interesting. There is the one with the measurable success criteria or digital quick checks, like you can use that. So there are four basically. They can adopt it as per their needs. It can give them ideas,
I
like
think
how
it's
you can make
brilliant. I mean, I'm
yeah.
truly intrigued by this Sajida Manzoor inquiry teaching. I mean, I'm going to encourage all the listeners when they listen to this podcast and definitely check it out. And I think this is exactly what making an impact in the education space means, right? Like, I've learned something. I know LLM is here to make a change. I'm going to ensure that there's a system created for my peers and for my fellows, and then make the most of it. So we're going to be sharing this with everybody after, like after we're done recording and everything.
Yeah,
And thank
I
you so
can
much for
share
sharing.
more. Welcome, no worries. I can share more with you, like for Bloom's taxonomy, well, how to use Bloom's taxonomy, how you can make the objectives about your lesson on base of objective, how you can create success criteria, and then the activities. If anybody need any assistant, I can do that. Then okay. I mean, if they need. I don't know, in future, if you think you need some PD or something, I can do that. That's fine.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. So we'll definitely be in touch with you for that as well. But coming back to the assessments and AI and everything that we've been talking about, I'm actually very curious to know that, you spoke about AI changing the world. You spoke about AI being an assistant almost like a washing machine, doing my work, but I'm like doing my basic chores while I continue to do my more strategic human related tasks. Um, what do you think that is going to happen in 2030? Like, what do you think assessments are going to look like? And how do we measure those skills that are going to be relevant for students? Because, like you said, Gen Alpha cannot be tested in ways where we were tested, right? So, come 2030, what is it that the educator community should be ready for and the assessments should be ready for?
So your question is in 2030, what type of assessment we can do, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, what is it that you think will be important in 2030 and what kind of assessments should we do for that?
So first thing I believe, see the assessment need to change. That the this assessment which we are doing recently, which is like more on memorization base, as an educator, I really do not like this. It's really based on memorization itself. I think the assessment needed to be based on the performance. It could be real tasks. We are doing projects, project based learning. We are doing presentations. Well, while students they do present, I notice they do not know how to present, what should be their body language, how they should speak. That's the main skill we need to train our student, for example. Okay, for the future, instead of just taking a paper based or even AI based, a few type of questions which are MCQ, true and false, then writing part. Not saying we should eliminate it, we can take it, but I believe there should be debates and experiments or case studies. We can use, we do use critical thinking or problem solving, but I think it should be increased more. Portfolios we have now, but I feel like it needs to be changed. It's not like, just we cannot really assess the students only on base of the summative assessment. It should be formative and summative assessment, because really when you prepare your presentation, you can make it with ChatGPT, with Gamma, with any AI app. But the real thing is how you present it. This is a skill. How you present yourself, how you present your work. And many times students they lack this skill. They are just reading. They are reading their PowerPoint, and in 5 minutes they read just one slide and they think, okay, miss, I did everything. And this is mostly feedback they give. Miss, I did everything. Yes, you did everything, but you did not present it in a in a good way, right? So
Yeah.
this should be changed. I believe the system we have now, it's really need to be changed.
I completely agree. And very recently, I was actually reading this report, the World Economic Forum report, which spoke about how 4 or 5 skills which are becoming very important. One of them is critical thinking. Second is communication. Third spoke about AI literacy and so on and so forth. And I think you've touched upon communication. And to communicate so effectively, one has to think critically. Like, what is it that I need to talk about? What is it that I can present in the next 5 minutes? What is important? What's not important? So if those skills are very important, what is it that the assessments need to look like? How do we assess them? Like you said, it has to be formative. It has to be a continuous assessment rather than one summative assessment. So I think I completely agree with what you've said.
And assessment, I would add, assessment doesn't mean like when we used to have exams, we have a phobia. We are like continuously memorizing and we were so tense. And now, although there is a part of formative assessment projects, but I believe it should be more, I mean, students should have, they should have a task which is like a real life problem. They should give a solution. On base of that, of course teacher guidance will be there. On base of that, we should assign the marks. In medical field, let's say there are practicals. Yes, I believe all the subjects, even in humanities, for example, history, because my major is history, although I love history, but many people think, oh, what history? really, it's so boring, it's so like that. But one student, they join, and the day they join, their mindset is this mindset, like, okay, it's history, it's boring, it's about the dead people, why should we learn about them, how gonna it help me in my real life, when I will do job it's not gonna help me. I listen these questions very first day or second day or first week. After that, once I start teaching them, and at the end of the year their perspective is totally changed. And students, they love history more than other subjects in my school. I'm not bragging about myself, but I'm sharing with you the reality. They love history because it's not just history. I relate this with them. Last week, I was teaching the topic which is about industrial revolution, and then how machines changed. And I added one topic, the lesson, which was industrialization and AI. And my first question was about AI. So they feel like it's linked with them, and then they realize, okay, industrial revolution also happened like we have now AI. And I always give them let's say puzzles, some case studies, some questions where they have to think. Even in history they do multiplication sometime, and critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration. These are the skills we will take when we will go out from the institution, from the school or from the university. At the end, you will be in the society. I still remember when I was a student, they used to give us, in math, we used to have kind of factorization. And I used to think, what is the use of this factorization in my life? you know and it's always student thing. But once you know how to divide one pizza in 4 6 pieces, this is factorization. We can teach them in simple way instead of making factorization very hard and complicated.
I agree. I mean, like you said, right? Like it is about relating what we're learning, even if it's history. And I love history, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes, I
Thank you.
really like. I really like history, the subject. And so, if it is about history, then how do you relate it to today? Because it is very, very important because it is the past which has an impact on our present and has an impact on our future. So, I mean, relating it, having problems which are of relevance today and getting students to solve those. I think that is what will build skills like critical thinking, problem solving, communication, how to present yourself, and all of those things which you just touched upon. So assessments of 2030 need to be more real time, need to be more focused on communication, need to be focused on more real life applications is what we're taking back. Do you have any closing thoughts, anything that you would want people to hear as a conclusion or anything?
Yes, sure. So I would say education is always ongoing, because the word education itself means burn and learn. And you burn means doesn't mean burn with the fire. It means you burn our skills, and you learn the new skills. And so it's shifting now in AI age. It's now what you know and how you think. Now, whatever I know, I believe all these alpha kids, they have lots of information because they are so much, they have exposure, they have more information than us. But this information is not organized, or thoughts are not organized. So being a mentor or a teacher, my job is to give them a path where they can be guided how they think, because AI is accelerating this shift. We cannot stop AI. If I think, okay, I will stop AI, I will not use AI in my class because this way students will learn more. I don't think so this gonna happen, because students will learn more with AI rather than without AI. So the future learners are those, they are already, they have exposure, they think out of the box. And if you will not provide them those activities or challenging tasks which they will feel really make sense, they will not pay any attention. So I think we need to make them independent learner. We need to make them think critically and a problem solver, and continue learning beyond the classroom. Sometime we should take them out of the classroom, I believe, you know, and they should learn during trips. They are learning during they go in the break or they go outside in the out of the classroom, they learn. I believe we should use sometime parks as a learning place where we can take students. They can learn there because we learn everywhere. It's not just okay in the classroom, come sit here, sit as as a passive learner and just listen. And while even when we were having lectures, if somebody was talking continuously, we never pay attention, because after 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes, you can listen. After that you will think, oh, what they are, why he or she is yapping, what's the point, I'm here.
So yeah, makes sense. So I think what we're taking back is one, learning happens everywhere. It cannot be static. It has to be constant. It needs to be across parks. It has to be across your classroom. It has to be in conversations. AI has to be there. But AI has to be completely assistive. AI needs to make our lives simpler. And last but not the least, it's really about conversations like conversations around communication, critical thinking, and all of those that matter. And yeah, so thank you so much for your time. And yeah, thank you so much for your time today.
Now, whatever I know, I believe all these
Thank you. Omkar, I think we can stop recording.